from last night, yeah.
Alright, let's get a clip here.
Yeah.
You good? You recording?
Yep.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. And I want you guys to let me know if you're enjoying a little bit of the lifestyle stuff. I have a goal to tie in some of the lifestyle into the educational videos, just to break things up a little bit, make them more engaging, learn more about me and my lifestyle, and how awkward I can be on camera. So let me know if you like the lifestyle, comment below, and if you enjoy it, I can definitely tie more lifestyle into it.
What's the period of time? Because I know it's very hard to but it's been over 10 years. What's the value for 5 years?
After reading this book, I had a realization that made me nearly throw out everything I knew about trading psychology. For years, I thought the solution to all my trading problems were discipline. Just stay more disciplined. If I could just be more disciplined, I could avoid the boom and bust cycle. I could avoid revenge trading. I could avoid making profits, giving them back to the market. But there were still swings I went on in my trading and volatilities I experienced in my trading that discipline as a solution alone couldn't solve. It was around this time that I started studying universal principles and universal laws. Laws that have stood the test of time, not new age insights or ideas, but principles that have stood the test of time and had been written thousands of years ago. And there was one particular law that redefined how I saw trading psychology, and that was the Law of Polarity. The Law of Polarity was written about in the Kybalion, and it was stated in the Kybalion. And then when I started to study that and study other philosophers and other psychologists and other great thinkers, I started to see correlations between these individuals. What was written on the Law of Polarity was also mentioned by some of the greatest psychologists and some of the greatest philosophers and some of the greatest thinkers throughout the ages, all at different periods in history, all from different places on Earth. These aren't individuals that studied together or interacted together. They may have encountered each other's works, but these are independent thinkers coming to the same conclusions. The polarity laws or the contrast laws are laws that state that everything that exists in relationship to its opposite. You can't have one without the other. They are not two separate things. They're one thing measured on each extreme of the scale. And of course, at the time I was beating myself up over very painful losses. So this realization was eye-opening to me, thinking that, hold on, I'm perceiving a painful loss, but the polarity laws, the contrast laws say that I can't have that perception or that experience without the exact opposite, which is the pleasurable win there. So at the time, although I was skeptical, I dove a little bit deeper to understand these laws on a deep level, because I thought the implications of understanding and mastering these laws could be an absolute game changer to my trading. And here's what I found. Now in the Kybalion, underneath the principle of polarity, it says that everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. And then, in the principle of rhythm, it goes on to say, everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. Everything rises and falls. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. And then I went on to read and study other thinkers and other philosophers like Khalil Gibran, who wrote The Prophet. And in The Prophet, he had a similar principle applied to pain and sorrow. He says that your joy is your sorrow unmasked. The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. When you are joyous, look deep into your heart and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say joy is greater than sorrow and others say sorrow is greater. But I say they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Same contrast and polarity laws. And then when I went into my studies on human behavior, psychology, and neuroscience and studied some of the founding fathers, for example, the founding father of experimental psychology, Wilhelm Wundt, he talked extensively about the contrast laws. He says that you don't experience pleasure unless it's contrasted with displeasure in the mind at the time. A feeling is intensified by its opposite. And then, of course, one of the most famous psychologists of all time, Carl Jung, went on to talk about the enantiodromia, where he states that if you push too far to one pole, the other pole resurfaces. And everybody's experienced this. Too much of pleasure eventually becomes pain. Carl Jung says that the brighter the light, the stronger the shadow. So these contrast laws, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, have stood the test of time. Through different generations, through different cultures, through different spaces and times in history. And I'm going to show you how you can directly apply these universal principles that have stood the test of time, that have been studied by the greatest minds, the greatest thinkers, the greatest psychologists. I'm going to show you how you can tie these laws into your trading to help you make more money as a trader, to help stabilize your psychology so you're not run by painful losses, you're not run by pleasurable wins. You can moderate yourself. You can stand in the center point and you can master the polarity so that you can stick to your trading plan and you can get payouts, you can make profits, you can do this at scale, you can do this sustainably and consistently. And the law of polarity and the contrast laws will play a major role in helping you do that. So in the Kybalion on the law of polarity, it's stated that opposites are identical in nature, different in degree. What does that mean? Well, one of the easiest ways to explain this and understand the polarity laws is if we talk about hot and cold water. Hot and cold water are the same thing. They're both water. They're just different degrees of that same thing. So if we have a center point here, which let's say is room temperature water, lowering degrees of that would get us to cold water. Increasing degrees of that will get us to hot water. But hot and cold water are the exact same thing. They're both different degrees of water. Now, Khalil Gibran went on to say we can do the exact same thing with sorrow and joy. He says that your joy is your sorrow unmasked. So we can have an event and we can perceive more drawback than benefit to that event, and that event leads us to feeling sorrowful. Or we can take that same event, see more advantages to it, and we're joyed by that event. So sorrow and joy are different degrees of the same event. If we see more disadvantage than advantage, we're going to be pained and sorrowful. If we see more advantage and disadvantage, we're going to be joyed. If we see an equal amount of joy and sorrow, we see the event for what it is. Now, so too in the markets, we have a certain move that, for example, you take an entry and then you have your stop loss below. If price tags in your entry and then runs to hit your stop loss, that price movement of moving from your entry to your stop loss, you perceive as a loss because it hit your entry and your stop loss. But what's interesting is someone else is taking the other side of that trade and they're perceiving that exact movement from entry to stop loss for you, which is actually their entry to their take profit, as a win. So from the market's perspective, a broader perspective, it sees neither loss nor win. But with a narrow perspective, when we perceive more drawback than advantage, because we took a stance and we perceived that it was going to go up and that was our expectation, but it actually moved down, we perceive loss and sorrow and pain. Whereas someone taking the other side of our trade is having a completely different experience from that exact same price movement. They're perceiving it as hitting their take profit, meeting their expectation, they enjoy perceiving a win. But is that movement a win or a loss? Well, it depends on your perspective on it. It could either be a loss or a win or anything in between, or it could be neither, a win or a loss. So our subjective experience as a trader and what ultimately triggers us into revenge trading and over trading and over risking are because of our very own expectations and stances we take in the market and how broad our perspective is, or how short-sighted our perspective is. If we have a very broad perspective and we're putting our losses and wins in context of a larger sample space and in a broader picture, then we don't become emotional to the polarities, to the outcome of the individual trade. We have a broader perspective and that allows us to detach from the outcome of the individual trade and stick to a higher process, our edge over a large sample space. Now let me show one other thing, and then I'm going to show you how we can tie these contrast laws to help stabilize you as a trader. Let's imagine we had 3 beakers here, one room temperature water, one hot water, and one cold water. Now objectively, the room temperature water is 20 degrees Celsius. Now, if we're to put our hand into that room temperature water, then it would feel objectively 20 degrees. But let's say, for example, we were to put our hand firstly in the cold water and really cool down the temperature of our hand, and then we were to take it out and put it straight into the room temperature water. That room temperature water, which is objectively 20 degrees Celsius, now subjectively feels warmer than this cold experience. So we've altered our experience and our perception based on what we're contrasting it with. This 20 degree water objectively is 20 degree water, but it subjectively feels warmer than this 2 degree water. Now, so too, let's say we're, for example, going to take our other hand, put it in the hot water first, and then put it straight away into the room temperature water. Now, the room temperature water, which is objectively still 20 degrees, subjectively feels cooler than the 50 degree water. So this objective experience, which is 20 degree room temperature water, can subjectively feel warmer or colder depending on what's contrasting it and what it is in contrast to. So for example, if you're a trader and you're going into each trade with this expectation that, this is the trade that's going to get me my funded account. This is the trade that's going to help me pay bills. This is the trade that's going to get me status and recognition and make me feel like a success. And this is the trade that's going to help me get a payout. I'm going to make this amount of money or this percentage or this R. And we associate all this pleasure to this individual outcome in the market and all this joy and this winning and this experience that is very pleasurable. Then if the market and when the market gives us an inevitable loss based on just a probability sequence of wins and losing, then guess what's going to happen? That objective experience of your entry hitting your entry, price hitting your entry and then hitting your stop loss is now subjectively going to feel extremely painful relative to that expectation and the sweetness you've built up in your mind. And because of that contrast, what's going to happen is the pain is going to drive revenge trading, over trading, over risking, deviating from your trading plan, all as a compensation for that pain you're experiencing on the loss because of unmet expectations. Now, so too, if we don't learn to manage our painful losing in our mind and calm that down, then every time we take a win, that's going to polarize that fantasy and that relief and that positive feeling and that pleasure, all because we perceive to avoid a loss on that individual trade. But the truth is, as a trader, you're going to get both wins and losses in pursuit of your edge and in the execution of your sample space. We have to experience both wins and losses, but we shouldn't let those distract us from the pursuit of our trading plan. So if we are attached to the pleasure of winning and therefore pained by the pain of losing because of our attachment to winning, then we're going to be thrown off our pursuit of our trading plan and distracted from that. Now, some traders say, I don't have an attachment to winning. I'm not expecting a win or anything like that. And they try and justify that. But the truth is, if you're being pained by losses or your losses are deterring you from your trading plan or creating fear or stimulating fear or driving you into over trading or over risking, you still do have an attachment to winning. Your actions demonstrate where your attachment is, not what you say. So by having an understanding of the contrast laws and understanding that your painful losses are because of your attachment to the outcome of what you think you're going to get from a pleasurable win, then that gives you a lot more control. And you realize, you know what, let me go in there and manage my expectations on the win and really ground and humble my desires of what I think I'm going to get from this win. And if I was to get the win, how that would actually be a drawback and a consequence to my trading, so that I can ground myself and I can truly ask myself a process-based question of, does this trade align with my trading plan or not? If it does, I take it. If I'm taking this trade because of all the pleasure I'm thinking I'm going to get, then understand the worst case scenario is you take a win on that trade and you continue to polarize this fantasy that you can impose onto the market what you think, and you're going to get from the market what you think in the individual trade, which drives stronger polarities and the law of rhythm, which is a compensating effect. Because remember, the more the pendulum swings to the right, the greater the swing to the left is a compensating effect through the law of rhythm. So the realization that made me rethink trading psychology was an understanding that it's actually my attachment to the pleasure that is driving a lot of my pains in my trading. And it's my trying to avoid the nightmare of losing that perpetuates and polarizes my attachment to winning. So what I needed to do was take any time I had a pleasurable win and find the drawbacks to that and broaden my perspective in that moment and detach from the dopamine of winning and what I thought I was going to get on the individual win and really humble that and bring that down and remind myself, every time I win, I become complacent. I exaggerate myself. I minimize risk in the market. I go away from my trading plan and start to see the distractions of winning. And then every time I take a loss, I become more focused and I adhere to my trading plan and I'm aware of the risks in the market and I'm more process-based and I'm more focused. And I'm more open and adaptable and teachable and sticking to high quality setups on my trading plan. So I learned to ask these quality questions to bring the pleasure of winning down in my mind and the pain of losing up in my mind until they were both balanced and neither good nor bad. And I could experience either outcome in pursuit of my edge. And neither outcome, win or loss, took me away from sticking to my edge. It allows you to stick to your trading plan over a large sample space and approximate the edge you have within your trading plan and not get distracted by the individual sample space of wins and losses, but stick around for a large enough sample space to actually approximate your edge, which is in your trading plan. Now, traders, I talk extensively on the contrast laws and how you can actually apply these. And I give you a tool to be able to ensure that you're implementing the contrast laws before and after every single trade so that you can stick to your trading plan. I cover this for completely free. There's a free training in the description called the BPM 3.0, the Bulletproof Your Trading Mindset training, which also comes with my completely free AI-powered trading psychology tool that helps you implement the contrast laws before and after you trade. It's called TellerX. You can get all of that for free by signing up in the description or in the first comment. Go through that training and start using TellerX before and after every single trade. And you'll start to implement the contrast laws, the law of polarity, the law of rhythm to your advantage in your trading. You'll find yourself stabilizing yourself in your trading, not getting thrown on destructive over trading patterns or revenge trading patterns, and stabilizing your wins so you don't get built up over that and then give it back the next week or next month through taking low quality setups. You'll find yourself stabilizing your decision making as a trader and being able to trade higher and greater amounts of capital. And you'll find your results stabilizing as well because you're more stable. So if you don't already have the BPM 3.0, highly encourage you download it, watch the training, start implementing the tool. It's in the description or first comment. And if you got one insight from this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.
All right, traders, before you click away, make sure you check out some of the resources, the Bulletproof Your Trading Mindset 3.0 training and tool that comes with our AI-powered trading psychology tool called TellerX. Make sure you check that out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.